Hello everyone, this is me, Dusty Circuit here, and welcome to some Fortnite with Skade.
Hello,
Welcome.
welcome.
Hello, welcome.
We just had a squad game and got first. It was a lot of fun. Yes. Now we're gonna do some rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. It's like a wrestling phrase. For you non-wrestlers.
I've just searched it. I just found the matchmaking error number, and I found somebody saying, you need to remove the custom game code from the games menu. It's a button with the name custom key.
What?
I don't know how that would help or what that is even indicating, but Galaxy, can you think of any custom mode you might have played where you used a key?
That would be like in creative where we could
Mhm.
publishers ratings so other people can.
So they just have to go into it and clear it?
Yeah, apparently. Like this was 8 months ago, so it was in a recent timeline similar to this one. So for the somebody says, somebody says,
I know when we started having problems.
yeah, somebody says, so for the last 3 days, I've been unable to play with friends because we get this matchmaking error every time. Anyone else? Any suggestions? And then somebody says, you need to remove the custom game code from the games menu. It's a button with the name custom key. And a guy says, you saved my life. I would never have figured this out. Everyone else is saying this helped. So I would try.
Galaxy, try that. And when we get done with this round, because we already went in, so when we get done, then we'll come back and pick you up and see if it works. Hopefully it does.
If that doesn't work, the next best thing to do is to verify the integrity of your game files. I don't know if you've already done that or not.
And my brain goes, Mr. File, what is the intent? How was your sound?
At this point, I'd probably just reinstall the dang game, but I don't know how if it's probably very
It's
slow
actually... The phrasing sounds really technical, but it's basically just a couple of button presses in like the Epic launcher. I can probably show you. Every game nowadays has that like feature built in, just so like it's normal. Like if you've got like a Steam issue or an Epic Games issue, you do it. But yeah, try that. Try and see if you've got if you've got like a custom game code inputted in Fortnite, and if you do, just remove it. Oh, it didn't have a custom code in it. Okay. Alright, I'll keep looking for troubleshoots then. Nope, those are no help. Those are no good to you. No good to man the beast.
Oh, someone's gonna kill Evan. Or they might push him off a cliff.
Literally, one time I just didn't see an enemy. Just one time. It was just like...
That's almost worse, I think, in mine and Galaxy's eyes, because you were, like, literally right there. Like, if you were tapped out, that would make sense, but outside of that, like, how did you... It was like you guys were right next to us.
I don't know. I didn't see a bullet trail. I didn't see an enemy. And then after you'd already answered the question sarcastically, then he poked his head out and started shooting, and I saw him. But it was already no point me asking at that point.
Well, Galaxy had already killed the guy that killed him.
Oh, well, there was another person on the top of...
friend.
Right. Well, there was another person on the top of a cliff who I was more focused on. Who was in the back.
Yep,
right.
that was their teammates.
I was at the top of the cliff, you were at the bottom of it, and I obviously just didn't see the guy because of my own idiocy, and so I just didn't. So all I saw and heard was literally blue is knocked or whatever. So I just said, "Was there a guy who killed you?" And then you just said, "Oh no, I just died."
No. You said, "Were you shot?" That was the question, which is why I was laughing so hard.
I said, "Were you shot?"
or something?
You said, "Did you get shot?" You said, "I died," and then you said, "No, I didn't get shot." And then you said, "I didn't get shot," and then so
because
it was just one of those situations, you know, where even though I clearly missed it because, you know, like I said, I was an idiot. It just all I wanted was a straight answer, but it didn't matter in the end.
Have you ever known me to give you a straight answer ever in your life?
I should know better. It's just, you know.
There is an enemy. I need to shoot an enemy in the head.
I don't get it though. It's like I feel really like you know, out of control with my like ability to focus and stuff. But then it's like I can go to a film festival and watch 3 movies that are all 2 hours each without any distractions.
That was because you enjoyed that. That's the difference I've noticed with you. When it's something that you're interested in, you have a lot better focus. And I think that's just human. That's just normal human.
But it's
nature.
like
that's
I mean,
not a
yeah,
weird
but it's
thing
like
or anything. That's completely normal.
But even the stuff I didn't find interesting, it still felt like there was some element of control and focus there, and it's like
because
it just no longer
you were
exists.
in that environment. You weren't at home watching this video series. You were at a movie theater, sitting in a theater with other people like-minded that enjoyed it. So of course you're going to pay better attention than you would if it was. But even on a computer at home where you had all these distractions, you know.
But even in the comfort of my own home, if it was something boring, I never used to get so distracted at something I was bored at. It's like I never used to at home.
I don't think this is anything unusual for you. If it's something it's not your thing at the moment. Like, it doesn't get, I would say, quite the attention of some. And I'm the same way. I'm not saying this in any kind of negative way. This is just how my brain works too. I'm completely different night and day if it's something I'm into or I find interesting. I can get something. I can watch a 2.5 hour live concert on YouTube, you know, so many times that I literally memorize their mannerisms on each song and how they play this one song, you know, oh look, he played, you know, this one riff different in the live London version versus the live, you know, LA version. So I can do that too because why I'm into it. But if you're talking to me about Chinese history or something that like I have no idea. I can't
weird.
Focus.
Like
I can't give you the attention that you deserve.
I'm used to it's just weird. Like I'm very familiar with like how I feel and how my focus or attention on things feels, and it feels like recently I've not been able to. It doesn't feel the same, and I don't know if it's just that I'm just more aware of it now than I used to be. So now I'm more conscious of those things. It might be. It's just weird.
Could be.
There are certain times where I'm like, why am I even like on my computer? Like, if all I'm gonna do is just keep opening a random new tab
that's where you have to learn restraint and like, you know, condition yourself into like when I know I need to pay attention to something, or even if I know I don't need to, but I should, just like Fortnite Friday, something like this. I actually close my other tabs just so that I don't have that. If you look right now, I have Discord on my far right one, but it's on voice chat one. My left one is my screensaver. I've got
you have
Aiden and Eric.
that kind of with your computer.
It's also not even just that. It's also because I need to pay attention, and I get I put my phone down. I'm not playing Pokemon Go right now, so I have to do that. Or if not, I will miss half the conversations and half.
It's weird because like the thing is like I do that, but then there's just always something. makes me end up opening it again, and it just starts like when I was
Boredom.
younger.
Literally boredom.
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to. Here's how I used to do things with my Google. So whenever I was finished with a tab, I would immediately close it. So the second I was done with it, didn't need to read it anymore, it was closed. So I would only have like 2 tabs open on my computer at any given time. I can have upwards of dozens now because, well, one, I've got the RAM for it, so my computer doesn't get slowed down by it. I've got 32 gigabytes of RAM, but the other thing is like, there's just so many tabs open that I haven't opened in like 8 hours, and they're just, I'm like, why do I even have this open? Like, I'm obviously not going to revisit it. But I have this habit of like where I used to close tabs that I actually did want to revisit, so then I have to go and research it. So it's just weird. I have very weird habits with it, and it's like now I'll often, if I have an assignment, like again today, I went to a coffee shop to actually get my assignment done, or I will work away from my room because I just can't.
But again,
I can't do.
And you can focus there, just like you could focus when you went to a movie theater to watch, hours and hours about something that maybe you wouldn't necessarily normally, like. Wouldn't necessarily normally, like if it was in your room you would have been really distracted. We get more distracted when we have the ability to be distracted, and that's why you have to take away those. You got to take away. That's why when a lot of like parents help their kids set up study rooms or to study, it's you remove those distractions. You leave your cell phone at the door, kind of thing.
Well, it's weird. Like when because like the funny part is I could have my glue, I could have my glue. Sorry, let me start that again.
Your glutes, you should take them everywhere with you.
I could have my phone like glued to my thigh, right? So I could always use it. I can count on one hand how many times I'll actually pull it out. Like I've got all of the restraint for a phone because I don't like my phone. I don't use my phone for anything really, apart from phone calls and the occasional message. Like if I've got a Discord message I need to send, I'll obviously do it. But I can have my phone with me at all times and only open it when I absolutely need to. But obviously, like with my computer, it's just not the same, so it's just a bit different. But you're right. It's the convenience of it. When you can do something, you're going to do something.
That's just
and
our kind of generation that we're living at right now too.
Well, it is. Well, everything's really easy. Like for example, like Tom, he's a '90s guy. I think he was born like he was early '90s.
Them old people, you be careful.
He was
them '90s people.
Well, he was early '90s. So he grew up when the internet was still like not new, but it was like it was in its infancy exactly. And so he will talk about how if you wanted to plug something into your computer, you literally had to turn it off, plug the thing in, and then start again. Like there were certain like nowadays you could just swap a cable out. There's nothing to that. Or you can a computer will launch in if you've got an SSD, a computer will boot in like not even 20 seconds.
Great
like,
job, we got
We're number 2.
Second, and not only that, we really got second. All right, Galaxy, are you ready to come back and try this?
I'm.
You can do. Yay! Okay, let's get Galaxy back. If someone beats me, you guys invite them before me.
We can get halfway.
Now the bread has like another 2.5 hours to rise.
Let's go! Let's rise! Woo!
One thing that I found works surprisingly well is I just put it in my because it's cold right now. I just let it rise in the oven with the oven off, obviously, but with the oven light on, so then it's like a little bit warm, and it works actually well. It makes it warm in there.
Okay. Yeah, Galaxy, the only thing... So, you said there was no key.
Whatever it was, you did it.
So,
nice job.
So, Bo and Void have to verify their integrity files. That's the first thing we're telling them to do.
Yeah.
Was it the files that did it, or was it the other thing?
The code thing didn't work because they didn't have a code like in there, so there was nothing to fix there. So that meant solution 2 was to verify the game's integrity. Sorry, Soka, didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, it's gonna be. Well, this is
Now
gonna
we-
be awesome if this same process also works for bow and blade.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can also check and make sure they haven't put a custom game code in, but I can't imagine the Bow would have. I don't even think the Void would have. So yeah, I think the best way is just verify the game's integrity. That's like the solution that you always do. If like all of the simple solutions you've tried don't work, like in this case the region or like
That is how tech
you know.
support works.
Yep.
Try the easiest first, and then get to the more technical.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried turning it on and off?
Exactly.
Real.
That actually is the very first one of the first steps.
So funny.
Yep.
I saw this, it was like a Reddit post or something, but it was talking about this person who had called tech support, and they were like saying, my computer won't turn on.
Have you?
And then,
forgot
then
to
they-
plug it in. Yeah.
well, it was plugged in, but, so...
Was the power
they
supply
got-
switch not turned on?
No. After a while talking, the tech support person realized, and the person said, "Oh yeah, the power went out at my house, like a while ago." So
Do you have? Yeah. First, check if you have power in your house.
Just casually forgot there was a power outage. Normal.
I don't even think it was like forgetting that there was a power outage. It was more like, especially it was probably an older person. They didn't like process that in their head that, oh, I need power for my computer to work. It just works.
Right. Yeah.
Even though we know that that is not the case.
Mm-hmm. No, but again, like this kind of goes into that whole convenience thing. Like computers work almost like too well now. Like another conversation that Tom and I had the other day was like the fact that if we lost the ability to create computers, it's unlikely we'd ever create them back. Like there's so many millions of mechanisms that a person had to dedicate their life to building to make the computer work.
But if we had the dedication to it. I mean, it took dedication to make computers in the first place, to like research and experimenting, trying to figure out how to make stuff,
But we certainly would not be able to do it again overnight, basically.
Yeah.
It would require probably.
We would literally be set like 100 years in the past, and we have to go through 100 years of history all over again.
I think if we were working against the clock and we...
Are they shooting at you?
Well, yeah.
Oh my god. I swear to God.
I thought we were playing Tickle Monster.
You were by a cliff and I didn't see an enemy.
Did you see how far down? Like, literally, I could have jumped off the cliff and would not have died in that game. It was like a 5-step cliff.
I don't know. Clearly, I asked a really
silly question.
Really stupid question that even a chipmunk wouldn't have answered. All right, that's all.
So I was silly back and said,
God,
no.
you're insufferable.
And then he was silly, and then I was silly, and then he was silly. I was silly.
Our conversations can turn on a dime, they really can.
And then Volky was silly.
Anyway, to go back to a more interesting and less silly thing, I think if we were working like against the clock and we put every element of our manpower into recreating computers, I think it would probably still take us like 30 years.
Yeah.
I think that people don't know. I mean, I don't know. I won't even say people. I can't comprehend the... Like, computers in our world are simple. You press the button, it turns on, it works. Okay, you've got some software issues. Okay, you might have a graphics card malfunction. Easy fix, buy a new one. But the actual inner workings of a computer, like the science behind it, is so layered. It literally goes down to electrons, and it gets to a point where each individual thing that makes a computer is so complicated that
Yeah.
it took
And
it
we're
took
at the
people
point
like
where it's like to fix a computer, we're not even doing anything on like you're not repairing motherboards, you're replacing motherboards. You're not repairing
Exactly.
graphics cards, you're replacing them.
Computers are remarkably complicated. The only reason why we can keep making them is because we have the blueprints. All it is a case of for any manufacturer is just replicating and, oh, how can I improve this small individual thing? Apart from that, though, like, that's it. If somebody burned all the blueprints and templates of computers and got rid of the ones we all have, we'd have no idea where to begin. Like, and it would take
I mean,
generations.
there are people who their whole job is studying that kind of thing. There's
Yeah.
like there are people who
If we pulled our if the humanity as a whole pulled their resources together and like actually worked towards getting computers back, we could do it like in maybe a few decades. But the problem is we tend to
never happened in all of human
we tend to different countries don't always get along. Like wars tend to happen, and and kind of for that reason we disagree on things, and it's just.
Well, again, it's also like each individual like there was I was shown like a diagram like that shows that each individual bit has loads of individual bits that also have loads of individual bits that then have more, and that's just of one small area of a computer. Like, and each area is like literally like decades of research and knowledge to recreate or at least understand that thing. So it's again, like computers are so, you know, like remarkably complicated. Like in the in-depth way, not in the way that we know. The recreation and kind of the remodeling of a computer would not be an easy task for humanity, and because of how like specific they are and how nuanced they are, there's even I've seen people, I've kind of looked at this more. There are people who even debate if it even could be recreated. It's got that much layer and difficulty to it.
What actually what thought in your head made you ask this question to all of us? I'm just curious.
Well, I don't know how we got onto the topic. This will be just me talking too much. But the kind of reason I know this is because I don't even know. Me and Tom, other Tom, were talking about computers in some capacity, and I pointed out how something on a computer was really complicated. He said, "Oh, I can show you more complicated," and I was like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "Oh, and there's more," and I was like, "Whoa!" And he's like, "Oh, and there's more to that as well," and then, "Oh, and there's more to that too," and I was like, "What?" And then, "Oh, by the way, there's still more." And I was like, how deep does this rabbit hole go? It's like literally until you get down to electrons, which is like basically at the subatomic particle level. So yeah.
And debatably farther than electrons too.
Yes. My favorite thing he said about computers is we made sand.
Are you referring to the level of complexity we've reached, like with processors, like with the actual silicon, or
everything from like the software to the way a computer works, to the way it thinks, to the way it computes, the way it like just everything. All of the anatomy of a computer, from the external stuff we can see down to the subatomic particle level, and it again. Go ahead.
So this is what I think about this. I agree that it's like very complex, but it's not like it's something that nobody knows how it works. There are plenty of people who, they've spent their life's work studying this type of thing, and they know how they work at that very bottom level. And I agree. So if somehow all the blueprints were to be destroyed, then they would be able to redevelop it because there are people who have dedicated their entire profession to this. Now, let's say also in this hypothetical situation that all these people went missing too, would know how to do it, then yes, I agree. It would be...
Yeah, without
it would
them,
take
it would be
a very long time, but with the history of computers, basically, computers have been around, since the About the 1920s, but it goes back farther and since when they discovered electricity, because that's when they started, harnessing that.
But even before electricity, there were like literally computers that were entirely mechanical.
We've had people often say, and this is the thing: there is no creator of computers or the internet. This is the thing people don't understand. There is no one person. Like a lot of people say, computers really started with Alan Turing, but even he is just another guy who came up with a concept for a computer, and that was built upon and evolved into what they are now. It's like there's so much to it that my favorite quote.
That's how all of technology is. It's just people building upon what other people are doing.
My favorite quote. Oh, no. I was just. Oh, so, go on, Schultzy.
Well, now you have quantum computers.
Yeah, that
as well. Yeah.
I visited when I did a summer camp at the University of Maryland, and we got to go and see their quantum computing lab, and it is ridiculously complex there. He was it was a grad student's lab, and he was explaining all this, and everybody was like, "What are you talking about?" It is incredibly complex, but super interesting. It's really hard to even just wrap your head around what quantum computing even is.
Yeah.
So.
Yay! We're number 2. If we hurry up and ready up, we can play one more, guys. If you guys want to hurry.
Let's do that.
Do it.
Okay.
I was one quote I've been trying to say as well, and this is my favorite one when we were having this conversation about computers. Is other Tom said we literally made sand think, which is true.
Yeah.
That is literally the entire root of where computers come from, and it is and it's a very interesting way of looking at it. It's obviously hyper figurative, but still, I think it conveys a good point.
Who gave the sandbox a conscience?
It's ready up.
I'm heading back. As soon as I'm back, I will. It just takes me a minute. I'm sorry. Evan usually goes, "You should be sorry."
Yep.
Strong, Evan. You're losing your touch today.
Yes.
I'm really excited for my soup, guys.
Nice.
I'm excited for my bread.
We should get our soup and bread together, because that'd be really good.
My bread, I'm not even going to bake it
up.
for another 2 hours, so.
I gotta see if I have heavy cream. I think I do. Did Nen say he'd be awake for today's esports?
He reacted with a thumbs up.
Okay. I wonder if he wants me to wake him up. Soon he'll live here.
Are you happy about that, Blue?
Yeah, I actually am. It's a Pokemon Go buddy for me. Sounds silly, but it's kind of fun. Nen's a lot of fun. It's like having a friend over all the time, even though, he's like Riley's boyfriend.
He's like your future son-in-law.
5 years ago, I would have never thought that Nin and Riley would, end up...
Be, almost getting married and, be living at my house. I know, right? Of course, 5 years ago, I didn't even know he lived near me.
5 years ago, I don't think I even knew Riley.
That's good. I think, we were all 2018, so I don't know how long that's been, but...
No, I mean,
yeah,
I've kind of I guess
You
in
didn't
in
know
a
her very
sense,
well, though.
I
Yeah.
was, I guess, aware of her existence since 2015, but I didn't really get to know about Riley until 2018.
Yeah. Crazy. And now they're like moving in together and probably gonna be getting married and Hi Volky.
Hi.
You come around here often?
Is Olive Skade gonna be invited to the wedding?
Oh my gosh, that'd be so fun. I told Riley we'll have to do like an in-game wedding as well. That'd be really cool. Can you imagine the first Minecraft wedding? Like real Minecraft wedding?
I think somebody actually did that though during COVID first.
Yeah, I was gonna say I doubt that happened. But
I would attend the either the real life or the online one in a heartbeat.
She's already told me like what I'm allowed to wear, what I'm not allowed to wear. All that stuff. And Nen's like, yeah, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, that's the more male response.
Yeah. He's like, just tell me where to be and what to wear. Kind of like me, actually.
And Riley would be like, oh my god, look at the decorate, like, then look at this theme that I went for, and he's like, oh, this is a cool building, I guess. Anyway, like, where do we stand for this whole thing?
No, Nen would be like, how many Pokemon Go spins are here at this facility? That's what Nen would ask.
I'd literally, I still remember playing paintball with Nin in 2014 on a different community. Like, that's how far back this goes.
I remember living in bases and Minecraft with Nin on that community.
It's crazy.
It's weird because like even though I had a massive hiatus, so there was a lot of Nin that I didn't see.
I still growing up with him. You missed those interesting years, the growth years.
Right, exactly. But I did,
years,
When I dipped in and out, I saw he achieved stuff, and then I came back, and then it was gone. Then I came back, it was back again. So I remember that. But what I mostly remember about Nin before Skade, / the last kind of months that I was on, that other community, was playing paintball with him. It was weird because even though I never really interacted with Nin in game a lot, I always remembered him being on. He was always one of those players you just saw online. It's like
I remember
that was Riley, even though I didn't really know.
Yeah.
I saw, I remember seeing a player by the name of Rockstar Riley in the chat, but I have no idea who that person was.
It's the same, like, I would see it's the same with me, like, I remember, even though we didn't always interact, Dusty, I always remembered you being on, like, since as early as 2014, so everybody on that community was, like, if I wasn't directly speaking to them, they still felt like neighbors, they still felt like people who I really recognized and shared this community with, like, I never really interacted with Martin M, I certainly I still remember them, I still remember talking to them occasionally in-game. I remember, I didn't remember Blue or Riley, but
I remembered you though, just because of the name Evan the Great. Because I remember thinking like, oh, okay, somebody sure thinks a lot of themselves.
Right.
I literally do remember that. But then again,
and look where we are now.
I was an adult on a kid's server.
I don't remember. I also don't. I vaguely remember seeing like Rockstar Riley in chat a couple times, but like I never really interacted. There were some people who I just never interacted with, not because I didn't want to, but just because they were either quieter, so they just weren't messaging, or I just didn't see them.
And I was just the kind of person who like I never really socialized with anyone like outside of my close friends. It's like mostly I was just on either building at my base or doing whatever, and I'm not really spending much time talking.
See, I remember socializing on there, but I was always typing in chat. Can you believe that I would be talking in chat all the time?
Can you imagine me and Evan being chatty?
It's funny, like it's kind of weird that we never really interacted with each other properly, like back then. Imagine
until like I was like, look at this guy being so nice, helping this kid with parkour. I'm gonna buy him netherite. He's so nice. You want to come join with us, the big kids? And then
it's
the big kid.
Well, it's funny because though, like, but I think a lot of it also is time zone too. Like the hours I played would have been like the morning of England, the afternoon of England, and sometimes the nighttime. But the nighttime would have been when most of the Americans really started to become active, and when I'd be heading. And obviously, I was a little kid back then, so I went to bed a lot earlier. Like I'd go to bed like around like 9, 10 p.m. at that time. So a lot of the Americans I just never really interacted with very. Like there were some that I literally had never met simply because time zones just completely. Negated
yeah,
that.
and I kind of remember.
You were a kid and had a sleep
because I was
schedule?
going
How
to
dare
school
you?
back then, so it meant that I couldn't be on at the times the Europeans were most active.
Yeah, I was homeschooled, so I didn't have that same like issue. But yeah, like it was.
Were you like 8 years old playing at 3 a.m. in the morning?
No, not even slightly. I actually was
that on a few nights, but I can't confirm or deny that.
Not gonna lie, that would have been me if I had the ability.
You had to have been circuit because there were plenty of times where I'd be playing in the afternoon or even the morning of England, and you'd be online, and I didn't know you were American
most of those nights probably would have been either weekends or spring break.
They would have been, yeah.
I've got a call coming. I'll be back in a little bit.
Always blue. But no, like I remember Slime Slice.
Summer break for that matter.
I remember there are many friends who I made there, like June Wall, Builder 1138, Buddy, BB even for a little bit, U Circuit, although I didn't really speak to you as much. Slime Slice was the big one. Obviously Tom, like that whole it's crazy because even though I often sometimes forget that me and Tom met there because our friendship so deeply transcended that community that I actually do sometimes forget that we literally met on a Minecraft.
Sometimes I even forget that like Maud and Nin were my first friends. It's like I can still interact with them today, but they're not the same people, and it's like. It's like Maud has a job, and Nin is like the Valkyrie of our server, and also like is the one behind the scenes keeping our servers alive, and so that they're really busy. And on top of that, they're busy in real life, so it's like the amount of times like they're quote unquote free for me to just talk to them and spend time with them. It's nothing like what it was in the past.
I know I have grown a lot, even in just like the last couple of years, like because I joined that server back in 2018. So it was a while, and then I was playing a lot, and then kind of like played less and less, and then I came back in 2020. And you know, I think that from that time to now, like within the last 4 years basically, I think that I've like changed so much as a person.
Oh yeah, I think you really have. But I think everybody has.
Yeah. I've definitely changed.
Oh, you changed a lot, Sid. When I first met you, you really didn't like making jokes, and now now you make jokes, and you actually make some really funny ones. Like, if there's one, I mean, you've changed a lot just in general.
Yeah, funnier than your joke.
You could even tell, even pre-voice chatting, like before you even knew what my voice sounded like, you could sort of tell what my personality was.
Oh, of course, you had a very no-nonsense. Well, by the way, I had a lot of respect for you with that. But yeah, you had a very no-nonsense. I am very strict about redstone. I'm very strict about certain rules, and I'm not gonna. And you had a very like and this again, this sometimes is really good to have. But you also had a very uncompromising attitude. Like, I actually will often remember some of the forum posts you would make on that community. And I often thought, man, this guy won't budge. And I actually remember thinking, man, I wish I could speak with such like assertiveness and like. I'll even tell you another interesting.
It's just Minecraft, and especially Redstone was a very like, I mean, I guess we all feel this way about a thing we really like and we're really passionate about, and that I was no exception there.
you protected it very strongly, and you weren't willing to let anything spoil what you loved about the game, and like I said, I respect you a lot for that, even if it was in a situation where I would have disagreed. And I'll even give you another bit of trivia as well, Dusty, and this might make you quite happy or sad depending on how you look at it. You know, so I often will talk about how a lot of my grammar I learnt from, you know, reading people like talk like on the internet, right? Like in video game chats or anything like that. A lot of my grammar, Dusty, was actually inspired by you. Your forum posts in that community. You had such great grammar, like with like, you know, your use of like periods and like you wrote in such perfect English. Like it didn't matter how stupidly small the message was.
What's funny about that is when I was a kid, I absolutely hated like having to write like essays or I guess what you call an essay like in elementary school terms.
Yeah, no, but you certainly would have thought something that mattered to you. And yeah, I actually remember like often paying close attention to how you typed in those forums, and I actually remember thinking, right, I'm going to use that grammar, and I'm actually going to type like that because that's really good grammar. So yeah, you played a role in me doing that. So
for like the first part of that whole statement, Evan, I thought you were saying grandma because of your accent, and I'm like, what is Dusty? What
all right, Dusty. Do you want to do your outro?
Sure. Thank you all for watching. This has been me, Dusty Circuit, with some Fortnite with Skade. If you liked what you saw, remember to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want to see more of my videos, be sure to hit the bell for notifications.
Ring ring.
Peace out.
Peace out. Ring 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 ring. Blue also says ring a ringer, but she won't be back for the outro. Ring 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 ring.